What is going on, everybody? It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com and goldballhunting.com. The young coach there, I think he's in that direction, not sure quite, but Caerwyn Evans over at Shadow Mountain Country Club and also at the Palm Desert Resort. Caerwyn, thanks for hanging out with us today, man.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool. Well, listen, really excited for you because the Wilson tournament, the big tournament, the big Super Cat 2, which is the end of January every year in the desert, has been at Mission Hills with different sponsors for literally decades. And this year, or next year, I should say, at the time of this recording, this is what, December 17th, we're making this recording. Coming up pretty soon, January 2020, starting. So you guys are starting on the 18th, right? January 18th, I think it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
And you guys have taken on the tournament. You are the new tournament director. And I'm just curious, but well, listen, first of all, congratulations. So tell us a little bit about, how you got this tournament, because this is a big time tournament. I mean, there have been years where 750 players have showed up and so the potential is enormous in terms of the undertaking. So what got you?
How did that come about?
Yeah. How'd the whole thing happen?
So I obviously got back into playing and had played this tournament a few times. I actually won the 35 singles in 2018, I think. But I knew Ed through the
Ed Trust.
Ed Trust has run this tournament for the last 15 years. This would have been his 15th year. Now he's still helping me as a kind of an assistant tournament director. So I knew him through the desert tennis community, and I'm just always that guy that I'm not going to be happy with status quo. I always want what's next, what's the next development of my business. I built the junior program here at the club. I built the adult program. I built my summer program, and I'm not happy with stagnant. I'm a bit impatient when that kind of stuff comes, and I always want to grow. So I'm always asking myself, what's next? Now, Ed, about 3 years ago, came to me as we were trying to get this local desert tennis calendar thing up and running with Rosie Casal. He and I had quite a few communications about that as that was going. And I think that kind of kickstarted a bit of a relationship between us. And then he came to me, like I said, 3 years ago and said, hey, I'm not too far away from retiring. Would you have any interest in taking this thing over when I'm done? And I was just sort of like,
Sign me up. Yeah.
So at the time, it didn't seem like it made sense because I was still in sort of building mode with some of my other stuff. And now, well, I say now, a year ago and a couple of months when he came and said, it's time to do the deal because Mission Hill is moving in a different direction. They don't want a tournament of that size anymore, and their ownership and management had changed. So he said, if you want to do it, now's the time to do it. I made sure with my general manager and all of our management staff here that it was going to make sense. And we agreed that we would want a second facility to have as kind of a home site. And I said, okay, well, here's what I want to do. I'd like to get a club that I can kind of duplicate the experience at and still put a lot of the amenities that we get at Shadow at the other place as well. We went hunting for a place, and Palm Desert Resort Country Club over there off of Country Club Drive in Washington opened up, and we went over there and had a few chats with them, and then
it's a great site.
We were able to get the lease, and now we've got the two sites and multiple other clubs, and really looking forward to it. It's
that's great. That's great. So what? Anything new that everyone shows up, and it's got all the different age groups, and the guys and the gals, and plus the last couple of years, it's had the national category 1 mixed in. Was it 50, 60, 70, 75, and 80?
And 80s, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's great. I mean, it's great to have, some Cat 1 events as part of the tournament. I was fortunate to win the 70 mix last year with, she probably would have won it with anybody, but anyway, so it's
the same thing.
Well, I don't know about that. Anyway, but it's been a great event at Mission Hill. So I'm just curious. I mean, the history. I mean, you just said that you'd won the event, the 35s event a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, 2018. anything new that you see that you can add to this in terms of a player experience? I mean, really, what I want to help you do is I want to help you get the word out there through web tennis, now through gold ball hunting, also through gold ball hunting. But I want to also say, here's what's new, or here's what you guys are going to bring to this thing that maybe has been lacking, or maybe that needs to be upgraded. So anything new that you can kind of describe to us that might entice someone who's on the fence?
Yeah, sure. So I think it was going to be a large undertaking coming from Mission Hills, because there was always going to be a little bit of that stigma of, can Shadow Mountain handle it? Can Caerwyn handle it? Can the facility accommodate all the players? And for me, it was just a numbers game. I had to make sure everything as far as, parking, viewable courts, number of courts, all that kind of stuff. That was just a simple math equation, and that's done, dusted. That's an easy one to sort out. So we've got that in terms of handled. It's going to be not a problem to even accommodate, more players over the years. I hope to get to the point where we can get 800 players coming in. But as far as the new stuff, that's, I think, it's going to be really interesting to see how players respond to what I've put together. And, I definitely haven't done it on my own. I've got so many people that have been helping me, but my whole intention was to create more of a player's experience. So when players came in the gates here, they come in, they sort of have a little bit of that player's village vibe. We've got, obviously all the massage therapists and all that kind of stuff will be set up just as Ed has had in the past, but a little bit more of a beefed up, image of that. And then we're going to have little warm-up areas. We'll have, Wilson is doing more of a staged court with all of their, their latest and greatest equipment and rackets and string and all that. I want the players to walk in and feel like, yeah, I'm home for the week. I'm not playing at a host site where maybe the members here kind of looking forward to us leaving and this tournament being over. My members are going to be accommodating, because we've been talking about this forever now. They're really looking forward. So many of the 3035s, the ladies, and they're all like, we can't wait to see this kind of quality tennis. Great, and that's the culture that's being created here. It's a very personal, super fun, it's a different vibe. And I think people, when they come in, they're going to be like, this is cool. He's got, this guy representing this brand. He's got the sunglass station over there. He's got the massage. He's got a real estate company that's offering, so that's one thing we're doing. I'm kind of calling it our lucky losers station, so to speak, because we can't hold a back draw at this size of a tournament. We've got a real estate company that's sponsoring a table that's going to show some local attractions, and we've got a bunch of restaurants we're featuring that are going to be offering little 10% off your meal here, this, that, and the other thing. The Living Desert we're getting involved with. Some local golf courses are going to give us some discounts on tee times, and lots of that kind of stuff we're throwing in just to make players really feel like they're getting some value. And while they're here, if they, heaven forbid, lose first round, they've got some cool stuff they can do. We're going to do clay court mixes, because we've got 3 really good clay courts here. So players around can come in and, jump and experience as much of that as we can. So yeah, there's more. I could go on forever. I don't want to ramble, but yeah, I've definitely tried to think of every tiny little corner of this deal and address everything. So.
That's cool. Well, one of the things that Jeff and I are doing at Gold Ball Hunting is we're really encouraging players that if you really want to get better as a player, you need to jump in and start playing some tournaments. You need to start doing more than just the league stuff, because the league stuff to us is a little limiting. It kind of holds players back sometimes, especially if someone's pretty good on that team and their teammates are going, "Yeah, we don't want you to leave, so don't get too good." And so really, if you really want to start moving your way up, whatever that skill level ladder is that the tournament's the way to do it. And yet sometimes when we say that, we kind of cringe, because there are some tournament directors out there who are just running these little, seat of the pants type of events that they're just trying to nickel and dime everybody. And it's not a great experience. And what you just described is the kind of tournament that I'm hoping that more and more tournament directors will embrace, and really not look at it, quite so much as, sure, there is a profit, or else it's pretty tough to justify running tournaments that are constantly in the red. However, in the same time, you can really make it a great experience.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear you doing that. So what is the best way right now? Is there a website that you guys have that I can link down below this video that they can go to get some more information, or maybe by the time they watch this, they can actually start to enter the event or start the end of the tournament?
Absolutely, yeah. So worldtennisclassic.net.
Okay.
We've completely rebuilt the website and
Great.
added a bunch of stuff, and all of our new sponsors and the existing sponsors are all on there, so people can get some information there. Eventually, we're going to have an activities list on there that'll show every day. We got yoga classes and all that kind of stuff we're doing as well, other bits and pieces. There'll be the activities stuff on there as well that players can experience while they're here. Yeah, so that's definitely available. Entries opened on November 30th. It's always that Saturday after Thanksgiving. And I will tell you right now, we've got, we've already got about nearly 200 players, 170 odd players entered. And for a tournament where everybody tends to enter in the last week of the deadline, we're really looking good.
That's great.
Numbers are higher than I expected. So,
what's your entry deadline?
31st of December.
31st of December. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a few weeks before the tournament actually starts. So guys, a lot of tournaments kind of cut off the deadline maybe a week before.
Yep.
And so if you're thinking about coming down here to the desert, whether it's just to play the Wilson event or maybe the week before is Palm Springs Tennis Club senior event, just make sure that if you are thinking about doing it, that you don't wait till the last second, because if the entries are closing on December 31st, that's coming up in about 2 weeks.
Absolutely. If for some reason people don't get in, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to take the phone call after the deadline, but get your entries in, do it before the 31st. It's a big tournament. The thing that I'm literally going to be sitting on Ed's shoulder for is when we get the schedule done. That's going to be the be all. One of our big pushes this year is to make sure we really try not to get too many matches under lights going in later part of the day. So we're going to be doing more with our offsite locations as well.
That's great. So, that's great. Well, and your offsite location is top shelf. I mean, it's not like you're shipping them out to some high school or something like that. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
I know the place well, and it's so a couple more questions. Number one, if someone wants to enter doubles, doesn't have a partner, any chance that you guys will try to accommodate them?
Actually, that's what I was doing right before you and I got on this conference. There's lots of players I've been talking to that are looking for partners. I have a kind of process of doing that Ed's helped me with as well. Good. So we can definitely help people find partners. Not a problem at all.
Terrific. And then what about how many events can they enter? I know in the past Ed sort of limited a little bit. What do you guys have this year in terms of limits, in terms of number of events that you can play?
Sure. So you can play 3 full events, 1 singles, 1 doubles, and then the mixed.
Okay.
So you can't play 2 different age categories doubles or different age categories singles, unfortunately, and that's all to do with the scheduling. It's just it would be rough. A major headache. So
it's rough, tough. Good. Yep. All right. Well, listen, Caerwyn, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to next year's tournament, starting January
18th,
2020. It's gonna be great.
It's actually my birthday. No, Brent, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better and all of the players, some of the better players in the world. So it's going to be fantastic.
True. Okay, guys, listen. Any questions? Just write down below the video. You can leave a question or comment in the comments area. You can just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, or let us know at goldballhunting.com. Caerwyn, again, thanks, man, for your time. Appreciate it, guys. Get out there today. Help someone else have a great day, and we'll do this again real soon.